Have you ever wondered what it would be like to meet a different kind of human? For tens of thousands of years, we weren't alone on this planet. Our closest extinct relatives, the Neanderthals, shared the vast landscapes of Ice Age Europe and Asia with our ancestors. They weren't the brutish cavemen we see in cartoons. They were intelligent, resourceful, and incredibly resilient. They crafted sophisticated stone tools, hunted massive prey like mammoths, and even created art and buried their dead with care. For over 300,000 years, they thrived. But then, around 40,000 years ago, they vanished. What happened to the last Neanderthals? This is one of the greatest mysteries in human prehistory. Was it a sudden, dramatic event, or a slow, drawn-out decline? Scientists are piecing together the final chapter of their story, and the clues are fascinating. For a long time, the dominant theory was that our species, Homo sapiens, simply outcompeted them. Maybe our brains were wired differently, allowing for more complex social networks and better technology. We were the newcomers, expanding out of Africa with new tools and new ideas. And perhaps the Neanderthals just couldn't keep up. But the story is far more complex and intimate than a simple tale of competition. Recent genetic discoveries have completely changed our understanding. Deep within our own DNA, most people of non-African descent carry a small percentage of Neanderthal genes, typically around 1 to 2%. This is the undeniable proof that our ancestors didn't just meet Neanderthals. They had children with them. This wasn't a war of replacement, but a story of interaction and assimilation. So perhaps they didn't completely disappear. Maybe, in a way, they were absorbed into our expanding population. Imagine small, scattered Neanderthal groups encountering larger bands of modern humans. Over generations, interbreeding could have led to their distinct genetic signature fading into our own, a whisper from the past carried within us today. Another key factor was the climate. The world the last Neanderthals lived in was incredibly unstable. Glaciers advanced and retreated, temperatures swung wildly, and the ecosystems they depended on were constantly changing. This volatility would have put immense pressure on their populations, which were already small and spread thin. Some researchers argue that a series of volcanic eruptions or extreme cold snaps could have been the final blow, fragmenting their groups and pushing them to the brink. Our ancestors, arriving in larger numbers with more diverse social networks, might have simply been better equipped to weather these environmental storms. So, where did the last of them make their final stand? Evidence points to a few isolated pockets, places like the Iberian Peninsula, specifically Gibraltar. Sheltered by the coast and mountains, it seems some Neanderthal groups held on for a few thousand years longer than their cousins elsewhere. Here, in caves overlooking the Mediterranean, they left their last hearth and their final tools. It's a poignant image, the last of a species, gazing out at a world that was no longer theirs. The end of the Neanderthals probably wasn't a single event, but a perfect storm of climate change, competition, and assimilation. They didn't just vanish. They faded away, leaving behind their tools, their bones, and a part of themselves in our very own genes. Their story is a powerful reminder of how interconnected our human family truly is. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into our deep past. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the mysteries of history. See you next time.